And good morning, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Courtney Yockey, and I am with the F&M Regional Growth Alliance, and here today representing the Business Navigator Alliance of South Central and Southeastern Illinois. Some exciting news from the state yesterday. The state of Illinois announced $175 million in available grant funding through the Back to Business program. These funds are to provide additional support for restaurants, hotels, and creative art businesses. This morning, we're going to review these three different programs, which are the Restaurant Employment Stabilization Grant, the Hotel Jobs Recovery Grant, and the Creative Recovery Grant. This will be a high-level overview introducing these programs to our area. And if you're joining us this morning, this is less than 24 hours since the announcement. I do believe we are the very first in the state of Illinois to bring this to our region, to our local business community, our local community leaders. And so we're glad you're here today. We're very excited to dive into this. Granted, we did say this will be a high-level overview. We still are digesting everything ourselves, but we're going to move through this quite well and try to get a lot of information out to you today. So as always, to start, what is the Business Navigator Alliance of South Central and Southeastern Illinois? Well, we are a 6-county regional collaboration working through a small business community navigator grant. Our partners include Angela Griffin from Coles Together, Lori Miners from the Sullivan, Illinois Chamber and Economic Development, Risa Shainert from the Crawford County Development Association, Nora Swalls from the Marshall Area Chamber of Commerce, Bob Colvin and Freddie Schmitty from the Paris Economic Development Corporation, and then myself, Courtney Yockey, with the F&M Regional Growth Alliance. This group is charged with professional outreach and technical assistance for local, state, and federal programs. And our mission is to ensure that small businesses in our region are competitive and applying for necessary resources. And our goal is to position you for success by accelerating business recovery and growth. You see the map to the side of your screen, you see where the Business Navigator Alliance is located. Today's session is part of our outreach efforts to keep our local business community well informed of various opportunities. In addition to this morning, we also host business webinars each month. These webinars are scheduled for the last Thursday of each month, so please mark your calendars and visit the website there at the bottom left, the www.ilbusinessnavigators.com. That's navigators with an S, and sign up for our newsletter, stay informed. We also host various outreach events, office hours, and offer one-on-one technical assistance. So again, visit www.ilbusinessnavigators.com to learn more. The recording from today's session will be posted on the website as well. And then any supportive materials from these grants and these opportunities will be on the website. And they're actually already on there. The recording's not on there yet, but we have the frequently asked questions. We've got the eligibility requirements. We've got the application requirements already posted on the websites for all three programs, the arts, the hotels, the restaurants, and their individual pages. From our homepage, you'll see where you can go in and view past webinars or jump into the program pages for these three programs that we're going to cover today. So during today's session, we're going to touch on the Back to Business program and look at that program design, if you will, and then we're going to review the three different programs as previously noted. And it's very important to note that applications will open on April 5th. And as noted on the slide there, April 5th is when that portal will open. These are online applications, and then it will close at 11:59 p.m. on May 10th. So from today, you have 2 weeks until the application opens for that online portal. And then you'll have 5 weeks to apply. Now, we do encourage you to educate yourself on these programs and apply sooner than later, because if you're anything like me, something always comes up. You're always busy, and we don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. So if you're here today, if you're listening to the recording, you're a step ahead. You're starting to educate yourself that this is an eligible opportunity. Encourage you to reach out to one of us from the Business Navigator Alliance, and we'll assist you in applying for this program. jump on our website and see the frequently asked questions, all the eligibility requirements, and to apply sooner than later, closer to the April 5th versus the May 10th, because as noted, something will come up and we don't want you to miss out. So an overview of the Back to Business. This is in support of ongoing recovery efforts in industries hit hardest by the pandemic. And then there's a total of 175 million for restaurants, hotels, and creative art businesses. And these programs are to offset losses and support job retention. All eligible applicants will receive a grant. I'll repeat that. Very important to note. All eligible applicants will receive a grant as long as the business meets eligibility requirements and submits proper documentation and attestations. And then this program is funded by the American Rescue Plan Act, or commonly known as ARPA for short, allocated to the State Cure Fund and appropriated by Public Act 102-0699. So what does that all mean? What is the breakout of this 175 million? Well, the 175 million breaks out to 50 million for the Restaurant Employment Stabilization Grant Program, 75 million for the Hotels Recovery Grant Program, and 50 million for the Illinois Creative Recovery Grant Program. And we're going to dive into these programs here shortly. And as outlined in the statute, the B2B Arts and the B2B Restaurant Grants awards amounts, the grant award amounts, will be determined by revenue declines as reflected on the tax returns. And then funding for the hotels will be allocated by the number of rooms. So we're going to continue on with this session today and start diving into these programs, and just want to let you know that if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. We'll try to answer the questions to the degree that we are able to. If we're unable to answer your questions, we most certainly will follow up with everybody when we send out the additional materials and the copy of this recording. If you registered today, you will get a copy of the recording. You will get a copy of this PowerPoint. And there again, the copy of the PowerPoint and the recording will be on our website too. But as we're moving through this, and I know very high level, but as we're moving through this, and if you have questions, do encourage you to put them in the chat. So the B2B restaurants. This program will provide grants ranging from $5,000 to $50,000 to restaurants with 50 or fewer employees, and is designed to support businesses that have not yet received substantial relief from other state or local programs during the pandemic. To be eligible, you must be independently owned and operated for-profit corporation or limited liability corporation, a partnership, or sole proprietorship authorized to conduct business in the state of Illinois, or a non-for-profit operation in Illinois registered as a 501c organization. You must have begun operations prior to March 12, 2020, and maintain active operations in Illinois at the time of application. You also must have experienced a loss in earned or contributed revenue of at least $5,000 due to economic disruptions related to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then you must have 50 or fewer employees, as noted earlier. And then it's 50 or fewer employees at the time of application, and that is looking at headcount. To our understanding, that is headcount. That is not looking at full-time equivalent to where 2 part-time might equal 1, 50 or fewer employees by headcount. And then you must have not received financial assistance from the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, or RRF, the Illinois Back to Business Grants, the B2B, the previous opportunities that were made available by the state of Illinois and DCO, the Illinois Business Interruption Grant, or commonly known as BIG, the Illinois Emergency Hospitality Grants, or more than $10,000 in grants or loan forgiveness from any local relief program for small businesses through the COVID-19 pandemic. It is important to note that businesses who receive federal funds, such as the PPP, they are eligible. And then the use of these grant funds is flexible spending to support business losses. Again, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We're happy to try to answer them after today's presentation. There we go. For B2B hotels, through this program, applications are eligible to receive grant funding of up to $15,000 per hotel room in the establishment. As part of the program's focus on supporting Illinois jobs, 80% of the grant funding is required to be spent on payroll costs for the upcoming year, with the remaining 20% for broad business expenses. So it's important on if you do get a grant for this, 80% has to go to payroll costs for the upcoming year, and then 20% on broad business expenses. To be eligible for this program, again, you must be an independently owned and operated for-profit corporation, limited liability corporation, partnership, or sole proprietorship, got me twice, authorized to conduct business in the state of Illinois, or a not-for-profit operation in Illinois registered as a 501c organization. And then you must have begun operations prior to March 12, 2020, and maintain active operations in Illinois at the time of application, which is a common theme for these programs. And you must be operating as a hotel, included but not limited to inns, tourist homes or courts, lodging houses, rooming houses, retreat centers, conference centers, and hunting lodges. Now, this is very important. Short-term rentals, including vacation rentals, defined as a single-family dwelling or a residential dwelling unit in a multi-unit structure that is rented for a fee for less than 30 consecutive days, such as those commonly listed via Airbnb or VRBO, are not eligible. I'll repeat, short-term rentals, including vacation rentals, as defined as single-family dwelling, are not eligible. And then the third program here, B2B Arts. This program will provide grants ranging from $5,000 to $250,000 to concert and theater venues, performing or presenting art organizations, arts education organizations, museums, and cultural heritage organizations in Illinois. It is intended for those who have experienced business interruptions or adverse conditions due to COVID-19 and have been in operation in Illinois since prior to March 12, 2020, and remain in operation, common theme for the three programs. And you must have experienced a loss in earned or contributed revenue of at least $5,000, very similar to the restaurants, the hotel program. You don't have to show a loss, but restaurant arts, you need to show a loss of at least $5,000 and must be in one of the following industries for these arts. This is independent live venue operators, performing or presenting arts, arts education, museum, or cultural heritage organizations, as noted here on the slide, and we'll touch on each of these. There again, please refer to the eligibility requirements, the frequently asked questions to get the exact definitions for these categories, these industries, these operations. But we will briefly touch these here. So eligible independent live venue operators are destinations for live entertainment consumers where artistic programming is a main driver of audience. You must not be publicly traded, and the venue must clearly enable performers to receive payment for work. The venue must also meet additional characteristics that are in the eligibility industry definitions. It is a long list. I didn't want to run through them here. I believe you got to meet at least 4 of the characteristics. Again, go to ilbusinessnavigators.com, click on the arts program, and you can see what those are. And then the state of Illinois DCO does have a website as well that's dedicated to this, that you can find all that information to. For performing or presenting arts, These are businesses, including sole proprietors, whose operations are primarily in the performing or presenting arts, or organizations where the primary mission or where the primary mission or integral to the primary mission. Sorry, I'll repeat that. Where the organizations where the primary mission or integral to the primary mission is the performance of presentation of the arts to the public. This includes dance, film, literary arts, media arts, music, theater, and visual arts. Art education are businesses, including sole proprietors, who are dedicated portions where a dedicated portion of the business operations are focused on providing art education, or organizations where the primary mission or integral to the primary mission is the provisions of art learning. Museums must be in service to the public and dedicated to the procurement, care, study, and display of objects, archived materials, or live specimens, or lasting interest or value. And then the cultural heritage organization is a business organization that is a community culture and arts center, an ethnic or cultural awareness organization, or a festival focused on promoting and preserving ethnic, cultural, racial, religional, linguistic, and religious traditions. And you are eligible in this program if you received prior state relief funding. If so, your grant would be based only on your 2021 losses. So I would like to note that this is a quick overview. We've ran through what the B2B programs were, the program designs. We've ran through a high overview of what these, the arts, the restaurants, the hotel programs entail and who is eligible for them, and what you might be, what you must meet to be able to apply, and when the application is going to be open, the close date. And do want to let you know that the state of Illinois, DCO, is hosting information sessions, and these are statewide information sessions. They're going to host 3 of them leading up to the opening of the application. And in fact, the day after the application opens, they're going to have it as well. So this Friday, March 24th at 10 a.m., they're going to do a deep dive in this program. So this is the large overview of what just came out yesterday. We wanted to get it out to our region as quick as possible to start informing you guys, to start educating you guys on this opportunity, get you ready to go, and to be prepared. If you are able to attend Friday, March 24th at 10 a.m., to be prepared to ask questions and be prepared to learn more, to dive in. And then if you're not able to make the 24th, the following Thursday, March 30th at 10 a.m., there's going to be a session. And then Thursday, April 6th at 2 p.m., there'll be a session. There are registration links for this. We will send out a copy, or we will send out those links with the follow-up information from this webinar, from this session, with a copy of the recording. And then at the bottom, that is the website. So if you go to dco.illinois.gov/small-biz-assistance/B2B.html, that is the web page that is dedicated for these 3 programs, for the Back to Business program. We do encourage you to go to the DCO's website to see all the information that they have there and educate yourself. Then also visit us at ilbusinessnavigators.com to see what's also available information is there, which a lot of it is the same. Would like to note that on March 30th, we do have our regular business webinar coming up. That is in the morning at 10:30. There is a little conflict there with the state. We just seen yesterday that they've released theirs at 10 o'clock as well. So a little overlap there. We might make a few adjustments. So I have to get a hold of the panelists, but we're going to talk about the Illinois State Small Business Credit Initiative and other business program updates that have came at the turn of the year here, and very good, important information to get out to our business community, be well prepared. And then we're going to probably touch on these programs again. So I'm going to go over to the chat here and see what questions that we have. So for John, how will you need to verify documents the 5,000 loss for restaurants? So John, from that, you'll verify it from your comparing your 2019 tax returns to the 2020 tax returns. So you throughout this application and applying, you'll have to upload tax documents. In addition to tax documents, you have to upload identification to prove that who you are and to attest to various items. But as part as being prepared and having the documents ready to apply, you will need a copy of your tax documentation. Is there a good resource to verify what local businesses have already received in funding? Jackie, that is an excellent question. And we do have a list of those that have already received funding from the state. That would be like the Back to Business program and various ones as noted earlier. For the local funding, that's a little more difficult. So you could reach out to the municipalities or the counties that provided those programs and inquire who has previously received or participated in those programs. And then through the application, the applicant will have to test whether they did or did not receive those funds as well. And then Heather, are the B2B arts required to be for profit? And the B2B arts program can be for profit or non-for-profit. I will try to confirm that right quick for you. There again, very new program. Yes, so similar to Heather, similar to the hotels and similar to the restaurant, must be independently owned and operated for-profit corporation or limited liability corporation, partnership or sole proprietorship, authorized to conduct business in the state of Illinois, or a nonprofit operating in Illinois and registered as a 501c organization, a common theme across all three programs. And I don't see any additional questions in the chat here. We'll do a last call if you have any questions. I know we ran through a lot. This is the tremendous opportunities for those that are restaurants, those that are hotels, those that are creative art businesses, to be able to get additional support to keep on going. They are definitely lively businesses within our communities that are essential to the thrive of what our culture is in our various communities and the amenities that we offer to residents and then to people that are visiting the communities as well. So definitely want to support these people to the extent possible. I don't see any more questions. I hope that you found today's presentation informative. It was a high-level overview. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to those that are listed on this page right here. That would be Coles Together, Sullivan, Illinois Chamber and Economic Development, Crawford County Development Association, Marshall Area Chamber of Commerce, PEDCO, and the Alliance. We're here to help. We hope to dive into each of these programs a little further as we get further along. As time is available, we may do just recordings of them in the evenings, aside from other work that we're working on during our day jobs as well. But if available, we'll try to dive into each of the three programs and individual webinars. But we're here to help. We're sending out a lot of info as well, trying to do a targeted approach. So if you are in this business, hope you do receive some info here in the coming weeks as well. So thank you for joining us today. Hope you found it informative. And one last question: why is Illinois doing another grant program when the problem is lack of workers? Well, Brenda, part of this is to help with the retention of workers. So it's kind of a two-sided for your question, the lack of workers, but then also the retention of the existing workforce, where it doesn't become a bigger issue for the lack of workers. And there are other programs and other supports, especially with training assistant programs, or programs to help those overcome hurdles that they may be experiencing entering the workforce, that help complement these things to build our workforce and to be productive and have thriving businesses throughout our business climate throughout our community. So yes, this is a grant program that is geared towards restaurants, hotels, and arts, and it does help support the retention of those, hopefully the expansion of those as well. And then there are other programs to assist with the lack of workers. So thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead and end today's webinar, and hope you found it informative. Have questions, give us a shout. We're here to help. Have a good day.